Los Angeles' cavalcade of dockless scooters and bikes will avoid stricter requirements, including new fees and a requirement for locks, at least until the end of the year, while the Los Angeles Department of Transportation irons out several key regulations for the fledgling industry. The Los Angeles City Council's Transportation Committee technically approved a series of proposed regulations by the LADOT this week, but it delayed the rollout until December 31st and sent the toughest rules back to the drawing board in the meantime. Now, the same companies that were opposing the proposal are optimistic the extra time will allow them to negotiate a middle ground. In a statement, Lyft praised the council members' delay. While we were disappointed that LADOT's plan did not take into account many of our concerns and feedback, we are looking forward to working with the council and LADOT staff over the next 3 months, Lyft said in a statement. Phuong Bui, the government partnerships manager for SPIN, said the company supports the city's goal to penalize bad actors and incentizive good partners, and called it a move in the right direction. LADOT originally took a softer approach to regulations in the first year of its micro-mobility pilot program, but too few of the companies took advantage of incentives to deploy in low-income neighborhoods and instead oversaturated the streets of Venice, Hollywood and downtown. Residents complained of scooters left haphazardly on sidewalks, tossed in trees and abandoned on private property. Some neighborhoods never saw the vehicles at all. There was not really a shared deep commitment to achieve those equity outcomes, said Seleta Reynolds, LADOT's general manager, at Wednesday's committee meeting. The city offered a basket of carrots, but found that without strong punishments, companies chose to ignore large swaths of the city, she said. Nearly a quarter of the riders during the pilot program made $100,000 or more a year, according to a one-year review. The review also found just 2% of all trips started or ended in the San Fernando Valley. Response times for service requests, 90% of which were related to improperly parked vehicles, were nearly 4 hours longer in the valley than the averages elsewhere, according to the report. But the department's new regulations in response to the program's first year leaned too heavily on punishments, at least according to the providers. Fines for failure to meet the proposed regulations scale up to $100,000 under the proposed rules. 3 particular areas were targeted by the companies as potentially damaging to the industry. First, a requirement to retrofit vehicles to lock to any bike rack within the next 6 months would cost the companies millions, they said, though the city wouldn't have the necessary infrastructure in place by the deadline. LADOT said the requirement was phased for a reason, so companies could prepare for the inevitable shift in advance.